Are you a basketball player that wants to play smart basketball and make your team better against all different types of defenses? Well, today I'm going to share one way that you can help make your team more of a threat on offense and make things more difficult for any team that's playing a zone defense against you. Let's jump in and discuss. Welcome back to Hard Smart Together. I'm Coach Dave. I'm here every week to help basketball players become the smart, confident players that coaches love. So today we're talking about becoming a smarter player, and more specifically, becoming a smarter player against a zone and things that you can do. One thing that you can do to make your team more effective, open up more opportunities to score against a zone, and really keep a zone off balance and make it more difficult on the team that's trying to play the zone. You might be thinking to yourself, Coach Dave, like my coach comes up with the plays against the zone. I got to run their plays. Well, yes, a really smart player, your job is to help your coach's strategy, to help your coach's plays work even better, to be even more effective. You want to be one of those those players that coaches love to have in the game. This is how to do it. Become smarter, little nuances that you can help make their strategies work even better, okay? So today what we're talking about is specifically the passes around a zone, okay? And more specifically, the tempo of those passes. And we're gonna get into more specifics on the tempo and how to keep the zone defense off balance. So most offenses against a zone are designed to kind of pop that bubble of a zone, get it into the middle of the zone. Okay? What that does is helps the zone collapse, maybe some double teams, some triple teams, but helps it collapse, and therefore it opens up easier scoring opportunities, whether it's on the perimeter or behind the zone or whatever the case might be. But that's what the offenses are designed for. And most coaches will preach ball movement, which is really smart. You want ball movement, especially around the perimeter, which will help shift the zone and move them. But here's the subtle difference. What is the tempo of that ball movement? And what do I mean by tempo? There are teams and there are players who every time they receive a pass against a zone, because they're trying to kind of penetrate that zone and pop that bubble, they're holding the ball and looking for opportunities, okay? Opportunities for that cut that's coming into the middle of the zone, maybe opportunities to drive the zone, whatever your coach's philosophy is, but they're holding it for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, right? They're really holding the ball and looking for those opportunities. And then when they don't get the opportunity, they kick to the next player. And what do? They hold it. It sticks with them. 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds as they look for all those opportunities, okay? There's other teams that the coaches said, hey, I want quick ball movement because I want that zone moving side to side. I want them getting out of position. So these teams or these players might, just as soon as they touch the ball, it's like a hot potato and it's on to the next player. And it skips around the zone really quickly. Neither one of those is bad on its own. But if you want to be really effective, hey, I'll get back to the episode in just a second. I hope you're enjoying today's episode, and if you are, please share it. Share it with a player, share it with a parent, share it with a coach, anybody that you feel might need to hear it. I also wanted to give you a free gift that I've made available to you just for hanging out with me today. It's a checklist of skills for basketball players that want to become a better player, a better teammate, and to stand out to their coaches. Now, these skills are skills that are often overlooked, but they can be the foundation that a player can use to really achieve their goals. You can download it at hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles. I'll put a link below in the description as well, but it's hardsmarttogether.com/intangibles. Now let's jump back to today's episode. The best way is by alternating the tempo of the passes. Now, what do I mean by that, and how can you do that as a player? Just you as a player, you as a smart basketball player, should recognize what happened on the pass and the player that had the ball before you received it. So let's say that you are on the perimeter, your teammate has been holding the ball and looking for those opportunities, right? And they pass to you, okay? Well, instead of holding it and doing the same thing, what does that do? It makes it predictable. It makes it predictable for the defense. They know, oh, it's going to go to this person. Now we're just going to shift over. Somebody's going to guard them. We're all in our positions. We're just going to hold it for X number of seconds, and then he's going to move it on. The same way that the quick passes are predictable. We're just shifting side to side, okay? But if they had held it and they pass it to you, and you now quickly hot potato it to the next player, that zone couldn't predict that. Oh, wait, we're going here? No, now we're going there. Now they, who you just passed it to, can take the time and look, and it's more unpredictable, okay? It can stick with them for a few seconds while they look for those opportunities, and vice versa. If the player that passed to you, and you as a smart player have to recognize this, the player that passed to you kind of hot potatoed it to you, well, now you have an opportunity to take some time and look. Keep the defense off balance. Keep the zone off balance, okay? Now they don't know, is this pass going to be one of those quick passes and we got to shift and it's going to totally reverse the ball? Or are they going to look for that opportunity and that cutter in the middle? Or are they going to drive the zone? Another great opportunity is if you're going to be one of those players that, you know, if hot potato pass came to you and you're going to look for opportunities and maybe hold the ball for a few seconds, great opportunity to fake a hot potato pass to the next player and then come back and look for opportunities. Because what does that do? That makes them even more off balance. Now they've had to shift to you. Oh, it's reversing. They've shifted all the way over. Oh no, now it's not reversing, and you get an opportunity to look for those, for those cutters or whatever the case might be. So, alternate the passing tempo around a zone will keep the defense off balance, will make it more difficult for them to predict, and it'll make it more difficult for them to defend you, and it will create more offensive opportunities for your team. Play within the scheme of your coach, but make your coach's scheme work better. So I'd love to hear if this is something that you've noticed, or is your team one of those that just kind of skips the ball around and it doesn't stick with anybody? Is your team one of the teams that, everybody holds the ball and looks for the opportunities? And can you start alternating it, and how does it work out for you? Leave me a comment below. Always like the likes. Love it if you forward this on to anybody that could use this message. And until next week, remember to play hard, play smart, and play together. See you next week.